Okay, welcome guys back to my YouTube channel. As you see, I got like new mic to increase the quality of the video. So let me introduce myself first. My name is Abao. I'm from the 07 batch. I completed my SPM back in 2024-2025 with straight 9A+. So this video will basically cover tips that I found extremely helpful back in my studying days that continue to prove their efficiency. Let's cut to the chase and begin right away. Okay, so for tip number 1, of course everyone's main question will be like how to start studying, right? What I can say is like don't wait for the motivation to come, because discipline is definitely stronger than motivation in the long run. For example, like if you compare like studying like 10 hours in a day, or would you rather study 2 hours for 5 days straight? Of course 2 hours is better because of like spaced repetition and stuff. So it's a good thing. It's way better to be more consistent than just cramping everything into one night. The benefits are like way more obvious. And for those who are lazy and unmotivated, my first advice to you all would be to try the Pomodoro method. Pomodoro method is basically where you study for a period of time, then you take a break, then you continue studying. So you're basically breaking like 1 hour study session into maybe like 2 study blocks. So for the beginners, you can choose to get started with 25 minutes of studying and 5-minute break. We call 25/5 minute splits in order to build the momentum of studying. But once you think you've reached some sort of like flow state in studying, you can jump right into what I would prefer the most will be 50 minutes of studying / 10 minutes break. It will be enough for you to enter the flow state of studying. For me personally, I will open a study with me video and study alongside with it in order to motivate myself to study, because sometimes you come back from school, I feel lazy, you might feel tired, just like the motivation to study more because you're just that tired. Just on the video and just study alongside it. It's really beneficial. One of my favorite channel is definitely Abao in Tokyo. I will link it in the description. It's like show around here. Yes, absolutely peak music choices and cinematography, so it can be real good motivation. Diving into another section of studying, I'll talk more about strategy. The first thing is to definitely make sure to build your own routine that can be able to suit your own needs, suit your own requirement, your own demands. For example, we need to learn how to like split our subjects in order to make a suitable timetable for you all. So how do we split the subjects? First, we need to break the subjects into a few categories in order to visualize them. See, most of the subjects that we all study, like for me, I study in SMK, so Kalam Menengah Kebangsaan, so they mostly will fall into like memorization, calculation, and language subjects. I took 9 subjects back then, so I will split like maths, physics, maths into calculation subjects, bio, chemistry, sejarah, moral into memorization subjects, and Bahasa Melayu and English into language subjects. The trick is that we want to make sure we don't study all the memorization subjects in one day, because that will really burn ourselves out. Instead, we can pair up like memorization subject with a language subject, or maybe a calculation subject with a language subject, so we can ease our brain a bit more, let our brain relax a bit more, and we can still be able to put our 100% focus into each subject. For example, if I'm studying like on Monday, my schedule will be to study maths, then at night I'll study Bahasa Melayu, so my brain can be more efficient for my brain. And for Tuesday, I may pair up with like maths and chemistry. Wednesday could be biology and English. It all depends on your own preference. Now, when we make the timetable, right, then we can think about how can we incorporate this thing called spaced repetition into our routine. So like, what is spaced repetition? Spaced repetition is basically where, I read this up once a long time ago, is where, say you study biology on Monday and Tuesday, and then you just don't study for the whole week. And then once you reach the other part of the week, like the next week is Monday, Tuesday again, you probably forget everything already. So what can you do is, you study like biology on Monday and on Thursday. Like the best is to leave a 3-day gap, and later you study biology on Monday again and Thursday again. It's like enough time for you to refresh the memory of the chapters that you learned before. Another good thing is that every time before your study session, you can spend a brief like 30 minutes to recap on what you studied in the last session. Just like try to like scribble down all the points that you can remember, and then you can use a red pen to circle parts that you missed out, and this can really reinforce your memory on the chapters. Yeah, to tip number 2, so it's like how to study each subject. So of course, for methods of studying each subject is like really long, so I'll just like keep this section short. For the calculation subjects such as maths and maths, I will highly recommend people to do lots of practices, cause like calculation subjects you can't just like keep reading the notes, it doesn't work, and you need to like do the working. You need to do a lot of practice questions. As the saying goes, practice makes progress, not perfect, progress. Not only that, you should definitely start trying out past year questions such as past state trial papers in order to enforce these concepts and know how they test these topics in the exams. For memorization subjects, mainly biology and sejarah, just watch a ton of YouTube videos, especially for sejarah. YouTube videos out there are really helpful, because I feel sejarah is like, if you don't have a tuition teacher, you don't really have the motivation to study, and it's such a lengthy subject, so it's very extremely factual. So one thing is like, you just watch YouTube videos, you see how they explain it, how they simplify those concepts. It'll be way easier to ingrain it into your mind. And there are really good teachers out there, so I'll just link one in the description, one of my favorite sejarah YouTube channels out there. For language subjects, it's basically the same as calculation subject. You just do a ton of practices. For essays, just read a ton of articles. You may really want to keep a list of good words and good adjective, good verbs in order to use in your essays, so you'll be able to pop up. For example, for English, you can have more what they call LCL, less common lexis. Those are extremely good words. You use essays, so you'll be able to like bump up your marks. Yeah. And for science subjects like physics, chemistry, bio, I will say like just don't like 死死背, don't like that memorize those concepts. In just what we can do is we try to understand a topic. Like you can do a bit of outside of the textbook research on concepts you to understand, so that you'll be able to have these concepts more deeply ingrained in your mind, because you don't memorize it, you understood it. So I think that's quite a helpful tip, and this will definitely help your learning journey be 100% way more easier. And for the third tip will be about past year papers. A lot of people ask like when to start doing past year papers. Actually, you can start doing some topicals based on past years ever since like Form 4 to build out core knowledge on the formats, on how like they ask like what comes out bagian B, comes out bagian C, yeah, those kind of things, and know like what are the mandatory questions and which are the optional questions. But for me personally, like the actual grind, right, for state papers mainly began after my trials. Like for me in my year 2024, so I just started grinding all the state trial papers available on the internet. But how about like, you may ask like, where do I find these state papers? A lot of people don't know. It's like you need to find like the resources to get the state papers. You can buy them from popular bookstores, because as a popular bookstores, they got sell those like SBP papers. You can buy them, or what you can find is Telegram groups. There are a lot of Telegram groups out there that have like a whole list of like past year papers. They all state trial lah. I don't think they have past year, but all state trial papers, they will be on Telegram groups, and they always compile them really well. Next up is I want to talk about is marking scheme. You can use it mainly to know where the mark is given and like know the keywords that would get you the marks in exams. What I did in SPM biology is that I knew what keywords I needed to use in the exam, so I can just write the keywords only and just make the answers short as possible, but I'll get the maximum marks. But one thing is, of course remember to write in full sentences. Don't write them in bullet points. You're not gonna get marks in that way. Another thing I want to point out is that if you're free, you can try to do analysis on the mistakes that you made on the past year papers that you did. For example, if you're lazy to create Excel spreadsheet, right, or what did I get wrong on this, on that, what you can do is just write a very simple table in front of the page of the paper I did. I think I will show it later in B-roll or something. And then you can just be able to quickly identify the mistakes the next time when you look back on this paper. It's like, oh, I did not do well in differentiation, I did not do well in integration, and you can find out like what is the mistake. Just write tiny little notes. You don't have to write a gigantic mistake book. Just write short notes, easy for you to recognize the mistakes, and that will be fine. Lastly is to analyze the trends, right? For some people, they like to write it on paper, or you can create Excel spreadsheet. I can show you an example real soon, appear soon, somewhere around here. For example, if like thermochemistry came out with Bagian B of chemistry paper 2, then of course in the next year, there will be a slimmer chance of it appearing in a paper. So you know that the other topics will have higher chance. So you can use this to like analyze trends, or like what's higher probability of coming out in the exam paper. Last tip number 4, I would just like to list out some mistakes I've made back in my days of studying and give you all some advice. Number 1, I am definitely no stranger to procrastination. It's only human to procrastinate. Sometimes after school, I can understand that we can just get so tired after those class tambahan, you just have no energy, no mood to study. But what I would say is that what I heard a lot of people will just say, like, just try to sit there for like 5 minutes, just study for 5 minutes only, 5 minutes only, just have you study just for 5 minutes. But soon you find out that you study like, oh, I should study for 1 hour. That's quite good. And if it's a really tough day for you, just try Pomodoro method. Even like 1 session is better than nothing. You know, effort is what makes it count, you know. I think now we will be taught more about mindset of studying. One thing I will always study, right, I will give probably like my 100%, maybe 120% to make sure that I will like never have any regrets. Because like the worst thing that I will feel is like once you walk out of the exam hall, or you just finish the paper or doing the paper, you feel like I could have like done a bit more. Like, why did I do this back then? Why I was like lazy back then? Why did I not read that thing? Like, we don't have regrets. So like the best thing is like just give our maximum effort so that we will not lose our own self-respect. The main thing is that we need to earn our own self-respect for ourselves. Furthermore, one good tip is active recall. You definitely hear this fancy studying lingo such as like active recall, spaced repetition. Active recall is basically where you actively recall things. While for me, when I'm like on break, or I will be on a transporter car, I'll just try my best to force myself in order to memorize or just recall some concepts while in a journey or something like that. I will just try to just close your eyes and try to like force yourself to think of. Let me give you an example how the urine is produced in the human body for biology form 4, and you just try your best to list all the steps such as ultrafiltration, reabsorption, and then like what are the things that are inside the concept. And once you list them all, like maybe like this 5 steps, you list them all out, then you can recall other things. It will just reinforce your memory because you're actively recalling the information in your daily life. I think that's quite a good step. Last but not least, I think everyone, including myself, should not neglect this. Sometimes we will just be studying and never taking a break, but what I think is most important is that we need to take breaks in some part of our lives. Break is crucial. It's like, for instance, in working out, you also need recovery days, rest days. They are also as important as your workout days. That's the same concept. Like when you study, you must also have some break time for yourself in order for your brain to relax and enter back in a calm state before you continue studying. And final thing is that you must definitely take care of our health, both physical and mental health. Remember to sleep well, eat well, because you definitely don't want to fall sick on the day of SPM. That would be like literal worst nightmare. Oh, final thing. There's like a very good study app out there. I'm not sponsored by that app by any chance. It's called YTP Study App. It's extremely good for tracking your studying time. I need to start using during A levels. But I saw there's a lot of SPM communities there, so you can like just study with other people. I don't know how, but you can see like how many hours other people study. But of course, don't be pressured lah. They're like insane people that will like study for what, 20 hours? Okay, I don't think it's like realistic, but most realistic is 3 to 4 hours a day. That's like good enough for SPM students, I think. And the app is good at blocking distractions. I can show you a B-roll of it later. Yeah, so I think that's all from me. Bye.